My best advice for anyone who's about to enter a relationship is if you're not emotionally competent enough to talk about your feelings, then just don't even think about getting inside of a relationship because you will just be a burden to the relationship you're trying to form with you and your significant other. Because you have to remember that, when you start feeling any type of way, you probably gain that characteristic of feeling like you don't need to tell anybody about your feelings due to maybe anybody who's around you, probably parents or friends or whoever, who just make it seem like you're soft if you really need to speak about your feelings and kind of let them go instead of holding them near you. And you decide to get inside of a relationship, the reason why you're a burden is because you're most likely going to cause a lot of problems due to the fact that you're not telling the other person, your emotional situation, your emotional state. And then also because that other person will attribute the same bad characteristic that you have, causing you to become a burden. So, because at the end of the day, you have to remember that you're just a variation of the 10 people that are around you. So, the 10 people that are closest to you, you will build characteristics, whether it's something that you do or say, you'll build characteristics based off of them. So, this can go outside of a relationship as well, but in relationship terms, it's really worse when you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not able to speak about their feelings, they're not able to speak about their situation at all. They feel like they can handle it and they just channel it inside and they allow that negative feeling to hinder with their attitude towards you or their attitude just in general, and it causes a lot of problems when that ends up being the case. It forces that same you know standard to the other person in the relationship, because then who feels comfortable telling their emotional state with somebody who doesn't feel comfortable telling their emotional state? It's something that has to be like played on both sides. You can't be played on one. So who you can't be in a relationship with someone and expect them to also open up emotionally to you when you can't do the same thing. And when that ends up being the case, it will be a very toxic relationship. And unless that is something you're into, which I know most people are not, then it's just going to be very bad for you. There will always be good, but there will be just as many or even worse bad times. Just because the communication is just not there at all. And when you allow these things to just control you, you allow these bad characteristics you gain from other people, other loved ones, or other people in your life, and you're reinforcing it, you're pushing it onto your significant other. It will just cause for a very bad relationship, and you guys will unfortunately not grow, and it'll probably just be a waste of yours and or her time or his time. So you have to really just acknowledge the fact that maybe you gain bad characteristics. Not only just the fact that you're not able to speak about your problems, but maybe even insecurities of getting cheated on or insecurities about anything that happened in a past relationship and carrying it on to a new one and generalizing generalizing whatever happened in that past relationship to your new relationship will just cause too many problems. And there's a lot of bad situations that can happen when you allow when you're just not emotionally competent with yourself, and you just allow these bad emotions onto your significant other. So my advice is just to make sure that's in check before you decide to get in a relationship, so that you can have a long lasting and loving relationship rather than a short and toxic one, and you will end up hating and feeling like you wasted your time afterwards, because no one wants to feel like that. And that's generally the case. That's what ends up happening when these things, when you don't open up, when you don't like let old things that happened with somebody else go, and don't attribute it to your new relationship. So that's really just my advice to anybody who's about to enter a relationship. So thank you for watching, and God bless.